What's happening? It's your girl, J1 Yvette.
I do it for the turn up. And we ain't going nowhere. We praise them because it's necessary. So watch us turn this place into a sanctuary.
J1 Yvette.
I do it for the turn up.
She's a G for Jesus.
And I've come to praise his name. You're tuned in to Sunday Inspiration. It's Justified Madness on Blog Talk Radio.
What's up? What's happening? It's your girl, J1 Yvette, and thank you for joining me on the Sunday Inspiration edition of Justified Madness. That's my gospel spotlight artist for the month, Pastor Mike Jr. with Big. Now, before I move on, I want to send a shout out to my church, St. Paul Church in District Heights, Maryland, where the senior pastor is Pastor Robert J. Williams Sr. and the co-pastor is Pastor Bobby Williams Jr. Now, Pastor Bobby delivered a sermon this morning that really hit home for many of us in these uncertain times. He came from 1 Samuel chapter 30 with a sermon titled The Possibility of Recovery. Now, after over a year of a global pandemic, economic uncertainty, and the ongoing fight against social injustice, sometimes it can be hard to think that we will ever recover. But as he did for David, the God we serve not only replaces what we may lose in the battle, but he upgrades it, y'all. So don't you lose your joy. Don't lose your hope. The same God that we read about in the Bible days is the same God right now, and he never loses a battle. The doors at St. Paul Church are open to a limited number of people each Sunday while we still work our way through this COVID-19 season. But if you're not able to attend in person, you can be a part of the service online via Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Just click on spchurchonline.com for more information. That's S as in Saint, P as in Paul, churchonline.com. And when we are fully out of the pandemic and the doors are open to full capacity, I hope to see your face in the place if you're in the DMV. St. Paul is a church where you will feel the love of God from the moment you walk through the doors. And that's on everything. I'm telling you what I know. That's my church home and that's my church family. So major shout out to St. Paul Church. And now a little more about my gospel spotlight artist tonight. Pastor Mike McClure Jr. is the senior pastor of Birmingham, Alabama's Rock City Church, which is one of the fastest growing churches in the South. He's also a 2-time Stellar Award winner, including for Best New Artist. Now, after his Stellar Award win, and the success of his album Live Free, he saw an increase in his social media following as well as an increase in views of his online sermons, which became crucial after COVID-19 forced the physical church doors to close. Pastor Mike Jr. wants people to see his success as evidence of what God can do in their lives. He said, and I quote, "It's just proof that if you stay faithful, God will bless you. It tells the person who wants to start a business, if you're faithful, God can bless it." Now, I know that's right, y'all. Now, right now, I want to get into a track from the album Live Free. It's called All I Want Is You. You are tuned into the Sunday Inspiration edition of Justified Madness. What's up? What's happening? It's your girl, J1 Yvette. Now, I come to bring you the latest and greatest in gospel music every Sunday right here on the Sunday Inspiration edition of Justified Madness. But if you want to get your worship and praise on all through the week, let me tell you about this cool Facebook page, y'all. It's facebook.com/sounds, SOUNDZ from heaven. Again, Facebook.com/sounds, SOUNDZ from heaven. Make sure you're tuning in, get your worship and praise on every day, and don't forget to like and share, and join me every Sunday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Time for the Sunday Inspiration edition of Justified Madness. From traditional gospel to the new sounds of Christian music, you're listening to Sunday Inspiration, Justified Madness on Blog Talk Radio. It's the Sunday Inspiration edition of Justified Madness with your girl J1 Yvette. That's music from Pastor Mike Jr.'s album Live Free. The song is called On God and it features Ray the Great. Quick programming note, I'll be back on the air this Wednesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Time for the Spoken Word Wednesday edition of Justified Madness. I'm on the air every Sunday, Wednesday, and Saturday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Time right here on blogtalkradio.com/Justified Madness. Now, if you miss any episodes, you can catch up right here on Blog Talk Radio or catch up on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Podchaser, Google Podcasts, and almost anywhere else you get your podcasts. Just Google J1 Yvette's Sunday Inspiration Podcast to find me wherever you get your podcast. Now I got to send a shout out to Team J1 Yvette. That's my official promo team, and it's run by my girls Alex, Tracy, and Amina. You can follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Team J1 Yvette. And I'm also on the Twitter at J1 Yvette1. That's JWANYVETTE and the number 1. And also make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Justified Madness 31. Shout outs to my St. Paul family, my fam bam, whether by blood or by love, I love you to life. My twamly, my young nation, all my mad hatters, Shane, and last but never ever least, my daughter Jessie. She is the voice that opens up my show every Wednesday and Saturday night right here on Justified Madness. Next up, I have more from my gospel spotlight artist, Pastor Mike Jr. Now, first, I have a little snippet of his preaching, since he is a pastor after all. It's from his sermon in Augusta, Georgia, back in November of 2020. And on the other side of the commercial, I'm closing it out with the live version of I Got It. I'm telling you, that song just puts me in the right place every time I hear it. Thank God for this music ministry. And thank you for tuning in. I'll be back this Wednesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Time for the Spoken Word Wednesday edition of Justified Madness with your girl, J1 Yvette.
Somebody to get me out of it. Get me out of it. So like Paul, I've made a decision that if I gotta keep my mouth closed, I don't have to talk to God with my lips. I can talk to God with my heart. And is there anybody in here who done been to hell and back, and you still got your joy, you still got your peace, and you still got your right mind? I gotta leave y'all, but the Bible says that Paul had a snake hanging on his hand, and I'm reading the text trying to figure out if Paul is gonna call on God. But Paul says that I gotta do this on my own, and the Bible says he started shaking his hand. And can't you see everybody watching Paul like he done lost his mind? But Paul said, I'ma focus on my God and not on my test, cause if God before me will be against me. Take your neighbor by the hand and pull your neighbor on their feet and say, neighbor, I'm pulling you up, cause this is your last year being down like that, your last year struggling like that. But God is getting ready to turn it around. I gotta leave your tabernacle, but take your neighbor by one of their hands and shake your neighbor. Y'all still ain't shook him right. I said shake your neighbor. Y'all still ain't shook him right. I said shake him and rock him. Rock him and shake him. Shake him and rock him. Rock him and shake him. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your neighbor and say, neighbor, whatever it is, it's coming off your life. Whatever it is, it's coming off your children. Whatever it is, it's coming off your finances. Won't he do it? Yes, he will. Won't he fight your battles? Won't he pick you up and turn your life around? I wish I had 7 people who were crazy enough to just bum rush the altar and slap the altar high five and say, Lord, What you're doing in my church, do it in my house. If you're paying off my church, pay off my house. Because every round I turn around, God's taking me higher. My joy's going higher. My peace going higher. My money's going higher. I've had some good days and I've had some bad days. And I've even had some hills to climb. But when I look back, I dare somebody to just look back and wave bye-bye to your last ex. Wave bye-bye to the sickness that tried to take you. Wave bye-bye to all of your hurt. I've had some good days and I've had some bad days. And I've even had some hills to climb. But when I look back over my life and I think things over, all of my good days, 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 they outweigh all of my bad days, and I can't complain. I gotta leave you now, but if you survived your hell, you ought to throw your hands up. If you made it back from depression, you ought to throw your head back. Say, hey! Hey! I know he's all right.
What's up, what's happening? It's your girl J1 Yvette, and I want to send a shout out to my girl Darlene McCoy. You can hear her on the Nightly Spirit Show, and make sure you keep up with her as well as my brother Willie Moore Jr. and Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell at Praise 104.1 if you're in the DMV, and also you can listen at PraiseDC.com all around the world.
I don't know what you come to do, but I'll come to praise his name. You're tuned into Sunday Inspiration. It's Justified Madness on Blog Talk Radio.
All we say to America is be true to